Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Coming to you this week from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'm running the half marathon tomorrow. Joe's running the full. Hopefully he will qualify for Boston for next year. That is our main goal. So I'm very excited and hoping that he will be able to do it. So today I wanted to add on to my sugar talk from last week. I really wanted to incorporate some more fun facts, and I figured we could play a little game, fact or fiction. I don't have too many, but I figured I'd give you some so you could get your mind thinking a little bit. So my first question or statement is childhood obesity affects 10 million kids in our country. Do we think that's true or false? Believe it or not, that number is low. It is false. It actually affects 12.5 million kids in our country. Now, this can be due to a bunch of different factors like we talked about last week, like the sugar content in all of their snacks, but also I have done some research on vending machines lately, and I'm finding that a lot of the foods in vending machines are mostly baked goods and have added sugars through the sodas and the energy drinks that are hidden. So I think it's really important for us to be knowledgeable in those terms as well, because 93% of the foods in vending machines in our kids' schools are baked goods and only 2% are fruits and vegetables. So I think that's really important for us to kind of switch that over, and hopefully schools will be able to somehow incorporate that more into their vending machines, or just get rid of vending machines and all. So 12.5 million kids are affected by childhood obesity. This is a drastic number that I think we need to change. All right, facts or false number 2. Added sugars are now being put on food labels along with the percentages of our daily value amounts being put next to them, just like you would see for a carb and a protein and fiber. That is true. These were changed in 2016, and I think it's a great addition to our food labels because we don't really think of, you just see sugar, you don't know if it's added or not, and I think the split up of having it added versus natural is great for us to understand where the sugar is actually coming from. Number 3, 50% of Americans' added sugars come from sweetened beverages. Believe it or not, that is false. Only 30% tend to come from our sweetened beverages. It's still a rather high number, and I think it's something that we could really try to fix in our society. But again, 37 is still pretty high, so I think this is something that we should start looking at more. Number 4, you'll know this answer if you watched my video last week. 12 teaspoons is the maximum amount of added sugar that we should be eating every day in our diets. This is true. The USDA and the FDA kind of work together, and they have decided that 12 teaspoons should be the maximum amount of added sugars that we should have in our diets day to day. Again, this 4 grams of sugar is 1 teaspoon of sugar. So if you're looking at your food labels, try to do the math and see how much added sugar you are getting in every day, making sure that it is under the 12 teaspoon limit. Number 5, drinking fruit juice is okay because of the fruit sugars and they're all natural. That is false. Drinking fruit juice, it is great for us, but the fiber content is not all there. And like I spoke last week, it's really important for us to have a lot of fiber along with the sugar so our liver can absorb it easily and store it for energy instead of storing it as fat for later use. So I think it's important that we really take into consideration when we are drinking fruit juice that look at the fiber content, make sure there's not a lot of sugars in there, because even though they can be natural, we need to make sure the fiber content is there with us. I kind of just gave this answer away, but we'll see if you were listening. When we drink soda, our blood sugar rises because our digestive system is absorbing the sugar fast. That is false because our liver actually absorbs the sugars that we will need to stay active. Got 2 more for you. 50% of all non-alcoholic beverages contain added sugar. Believe it or not, that is false. Only 32 to 35% of the non-alcoholic beverages contain added sugar, but it's still a high number in terms of how much sugar is in those sweetened beverages, because it is important to know that sweetened beverages are natural sugars. Last but not least, sodas and energy beverages have the most added sugar, and this is true. All of our sodas and beverages contain added sugar. Believe it or not, 95% of our sport drinks contain added sugar, and 20% of our flavored waters contain added sugar. This is something we really need to look at when we're trying to drink healthier options. If you want a sports drink, I highly recommend that you are drinking it after a workout, not throughout the day. It's really important for us to make sure we're getting our sugars naturally. But if you do want a sports drink, it is okay every once in a while. I just don't want you to be drinking them constantly throughout the day, every day, and having multiple kinds every day. So some examples of healthy options that we talked about last week are nuts, fruits, toast with nut butter and honey, homemade granola bars, homemade trail mix, vegetables with hummus, you name it. Check out the glycemic index levels. Make sure you're not getting a lot of added sugars. No more than 12 teaspoons a day is the recommended dose. Again, I hope this has been informative for you, and I am looking forward to talking with you all soon. Happy Friday.